baby. By that I mean that you gon' hold me down.
Needs to hold me down, baby.
Special.
They make you feel special.
So special, so special, so special.
Very special.
I just want you to know that you are really special.
So, you want to introduce yourselves to the people?
Sure. My name is Bambu, sometimes known as Buck Taylor or Buck Rogers, and sometimes Encyclopedia Brown. What up?
There you go. So, last week on the show, we played the Troy Davis Freestyle. Thank you for the retweet. I appreciate that.
Hey,
so,
yes.
what did that song mean to you? Because there's so much in it. Like, it's not even Troy Davis. Like, there's so much in that song. So, what did it mean to you?
I mean, I called it a freestyle because it was just kind of one of those things where I just went into the studio and, you know, I was hoping somebody else would say something. And actually, the morning Troy Davis was murdered, we were on tour, and I was in Oregon, and I was trying to do this viral video kind of speaking on it and why it's important for us to, because we were on the road, I didn't get a chance to put it out.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, the guilt got to me. I was like, man, I could have said something, and maybe that extra 50 or 100 people that I could have maybe got to rally around the issue may have helped. But I dropped this freestyle, and it does deal with a lot of stuff that's kind of going on right now. You know, Troy Davis being the focal point of it because it's the freshest one.
Exactly.
You know, but I was also trying to draw lines between, you know, Tookie Williams, Oscar Grant, just hip hop in general, and where, you know, the hip hop. I was really hoping to challenge other rappers, which is why I dropped names.
Exactly.
And, you know, because I think in hip hop we're given, you know, we have a voice, especially young people of color, like where we can tell our story, and nobody's saying anything, you know, and it's such an important thing. Even with the Occupy Wall Streets or the Occupy whatever city, it's like nobody's really. No rappers. I mean, now Kanye showed up, you know, I guess to Occupy Wall Street with his gold chain and his.
Yeah. So, like, even like you said, like, even if they do mention it, a week later, it's gone.
It's gone.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, even if you did make, a statement, or you tweeted something, or you said something, a week later, it's gone.
Right,
so
it's
where's
gone.
the real, you know, where's the real understanding and the real activism?
Exactly. So. And I wasn't even expecting any real activism. I was just expecting someone to say something. You know, like, it was such a big thing, and like the next morning it was virtually gone.
Exactly.
The crowd had dispersed, Troy Davis was gone, and then we didn't hear anything about it. You know what I mean?
And that's how things repeat themselves in history, is there was no mark. So
absolutely.
So I appreciate you for making that song and actually saying that.
Thank you. I really, you guys are one of the only ones that said that you guys were playing it on a radio show, so I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Had to do it. So, on to the latest project with Geo, Prometheus Brown, Walk Into a Bar. I know you guys were in Hawaii. You guys finally linked up and were able to make a project. Why?
Because that's what we did a lot. I mean, we seem to end all of our nights at a bar. And not, you know, I know it sounds, when you think of bar, you think piss drunk, running around. But it wasn't anything like that. It was just happened to be the place where we ended up winding down and talking about the events of the day. And during our trip there, we were doing so many workshops and building with students at Farrington High School and talking about the dropout rates and talking to academics and just local activists about the Hawaiian sovereignty movement. So there were all these things that we didn't want to. I think when people hear me and Gio are collaborating, they're going to automatically expect that this is going to be one of those, like, socialism, you know, like, and we didn't want it to be that. We wanted to be able to do something outside of what Bambu normally does and outside of what Blue Scholars normally do. Definitely. So then we try to take a lighthearted look at the situation, but at the same time touching on, like, really serious things, which is why it's mentioned in such a joking way, you know, walk into a bar.
Gotcha. And then the cool thing about that was you guys were both in Hawaii together, but how did the producer aspect work? Because you worked with so many different producers on that project. So was it just like, did you have beats that you already had? Or were you like, hey, I'm with him right now, send me something? Or?
I think there were like two like that.
Okay.
You know, like we reached out to local producers while we were out there.
Oh,
but
dope. Okay.
The other ones, I mean, you know, Gio being with the Blue Scholars, he gets a lot of beats sent to him. You know, I get a lot of beats sent to me, and we just had this catalog of beats, and we don't want to waste time, so we're like, hey man, let's just go through these beats, find some stuff, and then, you know, make something happen.
Good stuff. Do you have a favorite track on that project?
Roshida Jones.
That's mine.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
It's so much fun, and that's really what it is. It was fun, and you know, on the road when we were out there, it was like, oh, I love Roshida Jones. We just kept talking about, oh, she's so nice, and this and that, and then it turned into a conversation about the one girlfriend that you might, you know, when you were young had a crush on, but you knew that you had a boundary, and then it turned into a song about that. So it was just fun because I never get to do stuff like that. So with Saba, you know, him being in the Blue Scholars, I used to be in a group called the Native Guns, and our careers kind of started around the same time as groups. You know, you had Blue Scholars and Native Guns, and we were kind of moving around. So we would always do shows together. Actually, one of our first traveling gigs was together in Florida.
Okay.
You know, and this was way back in like 03 or 04. So we've just known each other.
Yeah.
And I've always, you know, admired Sabzi's work. He's done, I think, tracks on almost every single one of my albums except my first one. So we just decided, hey, let's put something together. The thing with Sabzi is he's the mad genius. Like, he's just gone. Like, you know, we recorded an entire album of stuff. And then he's like, all right, cool, done. I got to go do Maiden Heights. And it was like, okay, now I got to go do the Blue Scholars record. Because he moves like 100 miles a minute.
Wow.
And I think that's changing in his life because, you know, he's the kind of guy who takes on a project and really lives with it. Where now he's like, and then maybe, you know, there are people in the other half of the group that maybe don't push as hard as he does. So now he's in this place where I just got to continue to move on, you know. So hopefully that one comes out. I'm not going to tell the fans that whether it's going to or not, because it's kind of one of those mysterious projects. It's whenever me and him get together and decide to mix a record down. And
Yeah,
I think it's going to be one of those organic things where we just leak things out.
Yeah, because it's already kind of created this mystery thing. It's kind of like, oh, wait, what's this all
and
about?
That's another thing, kind
interest.
of like walking to a bar. I'm working with Sabzi, and because we have a very personal relationship as well, I feel like I can do stuff outside of what I would normally do. I mean, I don't know if you've heard that first song, but it's like, it's talking about your friends in prison, but the beat is just like
fun,
yeah,
exactly.
the beat is
So
like this Euro house kind of, and it's, you know, and I think it's allowing me to kind of flex and try different things that I wouldn't normally do because I trust him so much.
Dope. So, we're not going to say when we can expect it. Okay. It's just... But why the title? Because the title has been released.
Yeah.
So, Inglewood Humperdink. What's that
And
about?
actually, because we were all sitting around, and I think Fatty was there. I think he was there, and my DJ. And I think Fatty said something like his dad used to listen to Inglewood Humperdink. And then we were just laughing about it. And I don't know if it was Sabzi or me who came up with, why don't we call it Inglewood Humperdink? And then it just turned into a joke, and he bought like the domain.
Nice.
Like inglewoodhumperdink.com. So I was like, I guess we got to run with this one. So
because nobody already had that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. So they are saying spring 2012, but we're just gonna, if it happens, it happens.
If it happens, it happens.
We have the song. It's all good. So on to something that did happen: the Diamond Supply tape. And the cool thing about that was that you worked exclusively with Six Fingers.
Yes.
Who has done a lot of work with Hopi. I'm real close to Hopi and, followed her. But the weird thing is like every time somebody works with Six Fingers, it's not just one track. It's always like a full project. So why is that?
Because he's an easy guy to work with, and sonically your record's going to make sense. You know, he has a way of kind of figuring out the direction you want, you know, sitting down and asking you. Producers don't normally do that. He'll sit and ask you, like, well, what are you looking for on this project? I'll say something real heavy 808s and synths, and he'll go, okay. And he'll shoot over a bunch of beats that don't sound the same, but have the same kind of sonic feel to them. So it's easy to work with the guy. I love Six Fingers, you know, and we've always wanted to do something, you know, and then him moving into the retail business, he just opened a vintage store, the Troy store. So him opening that business, I was like, okay, well, you know, we have Diamond, that's a clothing company, we're going to do a boutique style thing, let's just make this happen. We actually tried to collaborate on a movie. We were tasked to soundtrack this movie that's coming out about Filipina teachers being exported from the Philippines to teach in the roughest parts of Baltimore.
Oh wow!
And we were tasked to score it, but it just didn't work out. But that was the first project we actually tried to work on.
Oh, okay. Wow. So what else is next for you?
Well, I'm working on my last album, One Rifle Per Family, which I'm hoping I'm gonna work on as soon as this tour's over. I'm gonna get to work on it. And before that, I'm planning on a record with Muggs. He has a series called DJ Muggs Versus.
Okay.
So I'm gonna probably do a DJ Muggs versus Bambu. And after that, Duke from Cycle Realm. I plan on doing like a 5-song EP with him. Okay. I have a lot of Mystic from Oakland.
Nice.
Me and her have been planning a record. You know, I think I'm gonna stay as busy as I can until I drop that last record.
Special Sundays radio show is live every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. on ksfs.sfsu.edu. And for everything special, check out specialsundays.com.